Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English Express. Today we're going to dive into a really exciting part of English, idioms and expressions. These are phrases that may not make sense at first glance but are used every day by native speakers to add personality and flair to conversations. Idioms are the kinds of phrases that can make English feel more natural, but they can also be tricky because their meanings aren't always obvious. Today, we'll go over some of the most common idioms, break down what they mean, and see how to use them. So let's get started. Before we jump into examples, let's talk about what idioms are and why they're worth learning. An idiom is a group of words with a figurative meaning that's different from the literal meaning. For instance, if someone says break the ice, they're not talking about breaking frozen water. It means to start a conversation in a friendly way. Idioms are common in English, so learning a few can really boost your understanding and make your speech sound more fluent. Plus, they're fun. Once you know what these phrases mean, you'll notice them everywhere, in movies, books, and conversations. Alright, let's jump into some popular idioms that you can start using today. A piece of cake. This is one you'll hear often, and it means something is very easy. For example, if you say, that test was a piece of cake, you're saying the test was easy. Here's another example, learning how to use my new phone was a piece of cake. Break the ice. Like we mentioned earlier, break the ice means to start a conversation or make people feel comfortable. For instance, at the party, she told a funny joke to break the ice with everyone. Hit the nail on the head. When you say someone has hit the nail on the head, it means they've done or said something exactly right. Imagine a friend accurately guesses why you're in a bad mood. You might say, you hit the nail on the head, I'm feeling stressed because of work. Under the weather. This idiom means you're feeling a bit sick. If you're not feeling well, you could say, I'm feeling a little under the weather today, so I'm going to rest. Spill the beans. If someone spills the beans, it means they reveal a secret or surprise. For example, he accidentally spilled the beans about her surprise party. Now that we've gone over some examples, let's talk about how to remember idioms and actually use them in your own conversations. Here are a few helpful tips. Tip 1. Group idioms by theme. One way to remember idioms is to group them by themes. For instance, there are idioms related to emotions, like, on cloud nine for being very happy, or feeling blue for being sad. Grouping them can help you remember them more easily, as they relate to similar ideas. Tip 2. Use visuals or stories. Creating a mental image or a story around an idiom can make it stick in your memory. For example, imagine someone spilling beans out of a bag every time you think of spill the beans. This makes it easier to remember the meaning of the phrase. Tip 3. Practice in context. Try using new idioms in sentences and conversations with friends or even in a journal. If you learned a piece of cake, you could write, my English class was a piece of cake today. Practicing in context is key to making these phrases feel natural. Now, let's look at some idioms that work well in specific situations, like work, school, or social settings. Work idioms. Burning the midnight oil, this means working late into the night. I've been burning the midnight oil to finish this project on time. Get the ball rolling, this means to start something. Let's get the ball rolling on this meeting by discussing our goals for the month. School or learning idioms. Hit the books, this means to start studying. I have exams next week, so I need to hit the books tonight. Learn the ropes, this means to learn how something is done, especially in a new job or activity. I'm still learning the ropes at my new school. Social idioms. Bite the bullet, this means to do something difficult or unpleasant that you've been avoiding. I didn't want to go to the dentist, but I finally bit the bullet. The ball is in your court, this means it's up to you to make the next decision. I've done my part, so the ball is in your court now. Using these idioms in the right context can make you sound more fluent and show a deeper understanding of English. Alright, let's wrap up with a quick practice exercise. I'll give you a few scenarios, and you can try to think of which idiom might fit best. Ready? Scenario 1. Imagine you have a friend who's nervous about starting a conversation at a party. Which idiom could you use to suggest they start with something simple to feel more comfortable? Answer: break the ice. Scenario 2. Let's say you stayed up very late studying for a big test. Which idiom would describe your late-night effort? Answer: burning the midnight oil. Scenario 3. You have a friend who just got a new job and is learning how things work. Which idiom would you use to describe this learning process? Answer: learning the ropes. Practicing like this can help solidify these idioms so you're ready to use them in real conversations. And that's it for today's episode on idioms. These expressions may seem strange at first, but with a little practice, you'll get the hang of them and start sounding more like a native speaker. Remember, idioms are all about adding color and personality to your English. So pick a few from today's episode, try them out in sentences, and have fun with it. Thank you so much for listening to English Express. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, and share it with friends who are also learning English. And let us know in the comments, what's your favorite English idiom? See you in the next episode, and until then, keep exploring new words and phrases. Bye for now.